Hi guys, now let's continue our discussion on the reproductive system, now focusing on the female reproductive system. Okay, starting off with the gonads of the females, which is the ovaries. We have here the ovary of rabbits. So it is again a parenchymatous organ. It is ovoid in shape. It has a capsule and covered with the mesothelium of which is the mesovarium. It is a parenchymatous organ. Pwede natin siyang hatiin into a cortical area and a medullary area. Yung cortical area, dyan natin makikita yung developing follicles, while in the medullary area, dyan natin makikita itong mga blood vessels. Now, let's discuss or identify each of the follicles that is available in this ovary. Starting off with the oldest, yung pinakamatatandang follicles. Technically, silang pinakabata pala, sorry. They're the first follicles. The primordial follicles. As you can see here, the studded circular cells, these are the primordial follicles. So, sila yung mga primordial cells na nag-migrate from the yolk stalk towards the developing gonads. So those are the developing gonads. Wala pang follicular cells na kumocover sa kanila. This is the section of a rabbit. Tingnan natin tong sa maybe dito sa cat ovary using a different thing. Mas maganda ating makita. Yep, as you can see here, those cells na nasa periphery, ang mga primordial germ cells. As you can see, wala tayong nakikitang covering of follicular cells na nakikita sa kanya. These are just the primordial germ cells. Almost all of the extent of the cortex is being lined by these primordial germ cells. Now, let's go one development further, which is the primary follicle. Okay, let's go back here in the rabbit. We can differentiate the primary follicle according to each age by the number of layers of follicular cells surrounding it. If the follicle has only one layer of cells surrounding it, a unilaminar follicle such as this one. Hindi na nga siya unilaminar, medyo towards the development of the next layer. As you can see, this is the developing follicle. It has follicular cells na nagko-cover sa kanya. Halos dalawa na bilayer na ang kanyang follicular cells. Okay? So, nakikita natin na unti-unti na din nade-develop ang kanyang zona pellucida. Okay? Punta tayo doon sa mas develop na ganito, ang multilaminar primary follicle. It also must be noted that as the follicle develops, it grows larger. Okay? Bukod dun sa lumalaki yung mismong ovum, lumalaki din yung number ng cells, dumadami yung number ng cells na bumapalag sa kanya. Such as these. This is a multilaminar follicle. As you can see, marami na siyang layer follicular cells, more than 3 layers of follicular cells surrounding a developing ovum, and na-appreciate na natin yung kanyang zona pellucida. Dok, sabi mo lumalaki siya. So perhaps, again, na-cut lamang is lumalaki siya, pero yung lower end or upper end lamang ng developing follicle ang na-cut. Ma-appreciate lamang natin siya, depende sa number ng follicular layer cells. na makikita natin na nade-develop dito. Also here in the multilaminar follicular cells, ma-appreciate din natin ang development ng mga stromal cells na bumubuo or nagsasurround pa doon sa follicular cells. So these are the stromal cells. As you can see, they develop into the theca folliculi cells or the theca folliculi. Okay, so this is the theca folliculi. They would further develop into internal theca or external theca. Okay, but here nagde-develop pa lang siya into a theca or theca, kung anong gusto niyong pronunciation, theca folliculi. Nag-start pa lamang siyang mag-develop. Now, let's go on to the secondary or antral follicle. Dito tayo sa actually, among these sections na available sa atin, wala akong na-appreciate na secondary or antral follicle. Halos lahat ay tertiary na. Kasi antral follicle, nag-start pa lamang siyang mag-develop ng kanyang antrum. So those are tag dito. Corpus luteum. Ito ay tertiary follicle. Wala talaga ma-appreciate na antral follicle. That is also now a tertiary follicle. This has been a hemorrhagicum. Wala talagang secondary or antral follicle. Mag-focus na lang tayo dito sa tertiary or antral follicle. Almost the same naman structure ang makikita natin. This is an early tertiary or mature Graafian follicle. Sabay, pwede siyang i-consider as secondary antral follicle. Kaya ko lang hindi ko siya exactly mapakita sa niya as antral follicle kasi yung highlight niya na C-shape na androma, hindi natin nakikita, bilog na siya. And hindi natin ma-appreciate yung hillock or yung parang arm nitong developing ovum. Okay? What we can appreciate here is the antrum, the theca interna and the theca externa, yung nag-develop na stromal cells. Dati ay theca folliculi. We have the zona pellucida and the developing corona radiata and cumulus oophorus. Those corona radiata and cumulus oophorus, those are all granulosa cells. So part siya nung multi-layer or multilaminar follicular cells na pinanggalingan na kasama ni primary follicle. Habang lumalaki siya, mas kumakapal siya. So, pag na-ovulate si ovum, kasama si cumulus oophorus and si corona radiata. Punta tayo sa mas matandang follicle. This one is a much mature follicle. Pwede bang i-consider siya as andrum? Diba siya ay evagination dito? Pwede ba siyang i-consider hillock? Pwede siguro. Siya ay evagination dito sa loob ng isang antrum. We've got the theca interna, theca interna, and the theca externa. You've got the developing zona pellucida and the cumulus oophorus. Tingnan natin siya under HPO para ma-appreciate nyo yung layers ng follicular cells. So as you can see here, that is the developing zona pellucida and the corona radiata and the cumulus ovorus covering it. Etong lahat na to, sila ay ma-ovulate kapag nag-ovulate na si ovum. Tingnan natin ang isang ovulated ovum, the corpus hemorrhagicum. Makikita naman natin ay blood. Blood na ang laman at hindi na natin makita si those are blood. Hindi na natin din makita ang ovum. Okay? Hindi pa gaano I think this is already towards the end of the corpus hemorrhagicum. Nagde-develop na siya into corpus luteum. Kakaunti na din kasi yung blood cells na makikita natin sa loob ng corpus hemorrhagicum. Dapat punong-puno siya ng blood. As you can see, malaki siya. Kasi nga, siya ay galing sa isang Graafian follicle. This one. Malaki siya. Unti-unti na siya na-develop into a luteal cells, which is the corpus luteum. So, pwede na tayong meron dito na mas malaking corpus luteum. Tingnan na lang muna natin to kung ma-identify na natin si granulosa lutein cells at saka si theca lutein cells. Yung nasa gitna na yan, those are all granulosa lutein cells. As you can see, studded, malalaking granulosa, naglu-luteinize na siya. Siya ay isang granulosa lutein cells. While yung narito sa theca layer niya, these are the theca lutein cells. Tingnan natin sa other stain, type ng stain para mas ma-appreciate natin siya. Look at this corpus luteum. Itong dalawa na to. These are both corpus luteum. So yung malalaki natin nakikita dyan. So those are the granulosa lutein cells. They are lightly staining. And yung mas maliit na cells, those are the theca lutein cells. Mas nakikita sila sa periphery, such as this one, ng isang developing corpus luteum. Malapit na siya dito sa stromal cells ng corpus luteum. Na kung titingnan natin siya under scanner, it covers or encircles all of the corpus luteum. Okay? Kagaya din ito, yung malaki na natin nakikita na yan, that is a corpus hemorrhagicum. Mag-develop siya into this corpus lutei. Okay? Saan pang makikita natin dito? Wala din ang ma-appreciate na antral follicle. Yung C-shape na antrum. Wala eh. Here, dito sa medulla, kitang-kita natin yung mga blood vessels na narito sa medulla ni ovary. Punta na tayo sa oviduct. Oviduct catches the ovum kapag siya ay na-ovulate na. Okay? So, this is the oviduct. Tingnan natin ang kanyang buong structure. It has a mucosal layer, a submucosal layer, and an adventitia. Yung submucosa and the with these are all submucosa. But hindi ko ma-appreciate, hindi ko makita si muscular layer. Ito na siya. Submucosa 3. Nasaan yung muscular layer niya? May mga ilan lamang segments ng smooth muscles na nakikita, na-appreciate. Yeah. These are the smooth muscle layers. Incomplete na sila. Hindi siya sunod-sunod. Pero, we have the submucosa. You can see, we have some submucosal glands. Pero tingnan natin yung lining epithelium niya, which is, ito yung mahalaga kasi dyan natin makikita ang mga lining epithelium. The lining epithelium of the oviduct is pseudostratified to simple columnar, and as you can see, meron siyang mga cilia. Okay? In some areas, such as this one, wala tayong nakikitang cilia. That is considered as a peg cell. Peg cell kung saan. Peg cells. Okay? So, itong nakikita natin na, as you can see ito, na cilia for this. So sila yung nagtutulak no non-motile na ovum pababa papunta sa area kung saan nadudunan si spermatocyte for fertilization. Okay? So yung outermost layer, dyan natin makikita si tunica serosa. So that is, this layer is already the tunica serosa. Punta tayo sa uterus. I-observe natin is the cattle uterus. Magandang section na to. Ma-appreciate natin yung three main layers ng uterus, which is the endometrium, myometrium, and the perimetrium. Dito tayo under scanner. Okay. Itong nakikita natin space sa gitna, that is the lumen. So that is the innermost layer. At yung mga final layer niyan, from here to here, that is the endometrium. So itong darker pinkish area, myometrium na siya. Okay. Tingnan natin yung kanyang lining epithelium. Ma-appreciate ninyo siya as a columnar lining epithelium. Dito sa region na to, nag-slough off na ang kanyang columnar epithelium, pero dito hindi. As you can see, these are columnar epithelia. Okay? And lining epithelium niya. Tapos, mapapansin natin para siyang burol-burol, di ba? And areas kung saan wala tayong nakikitang endometrial glands. So, those are the endometrial glands which are found in the base of this, yung parang burol, that is known as the caruncle. So, wala tayong glands na nakikita dyan. That is true for those that has cotyledonary type of placenta, such as these. This is a cow's uterus. Again, as you can see, wala tayong nakikitang endometrial glands. Doon ano yung mga bilog-bilog na yan. Diyan, those are capillaries. Makikita nyo siya, ang kanyang lining ay endothelium. Instead of, tingnan nyo itong mga endometrial glands, glandular ang kanyang lining epithelium. Siya ay columnar pero glandular. Paano natin nasabing glandular? Mas darker ang kanyang cytoplasm. There. Diba? These are glandular endometrial glands found at the base of the caruncles. So those glands release their secretions, such as that one, that is a duct. those glands dito sa base ni caruncle. That is also a duct. That is also a duct. Tingnan natin yung mismong duct. O ano kanyang lining epithelium. As you can see, it is straight and tubular. Ang type ng kanyang duct. Okay. So that is an endometrial duct opening out. Endometrial gland with its duct opening to the base of the endometrial caruncle. Okay? Punta tayo sa myometrium. In the myometrium, as you can see, ang kapal-kapal niya. So it has a very thick inner circular layer and a thinner outer longitudinal layer. In between them, may makikita tayong vascular layer that is the stratum vasculare. However, in the uterus of the cattle, in the uterus of the cow, the stratum vasculare may be located in the outer half of the circular layer of the cows. Okay, so hindi exactly in between this the outer longitudinal layer, and this is the inner circular layer of the myometrium. Tingnan nyo nga, it's true here. Yung stratum vasculare, kung saan may mga blood vessels, ay within the inner circular layer pa. As you can see, that is again a stratum. Balik. Stratum vasculare. Okay? And finally, the perimetrium, as you can see, the lighter portions made up of connective tissue. Loose connective tissue encloses all, kaya nga perimetrium, encloses all of the uterus. Moving on to the vagina. Vagina is again a muscular tube connecting the uterus and the external genital, which is the vulva. Tingnan natin ang vagina ng cattle. Huwag pala mo ng cattle. Other mammals such as human lamang yung available natin. Tingnan natin yung sa human, ang kanyang lining epithelium. Anong lining epithelium yan? That is a stratified, non-keratinized epithelium. As you can see, we can appreciate the Malpighian layer and studded with a lot of mucus-secreting glands. So, such as this one, at meron din siyang duct palabas doon sa lumen ng vagina that functions for the lubrication during copulation of animals. Okay? So you can see, may nakikita din tayong corneum, pero marami pa rin non-keratinized epithelium dito sa vagina ng humans. Again, lining niya, non-keratinized, stratified squamous epithelium. Tingnan natin yung vagina ng cattle. In the vagina of the cattle, it is of course tubular. So maraming connective tissue covering. Ito, dito tayo sa kanya lumen. Hindi siya stratified squamous epithelium. Siya ay columnar. So you can see, those are columnar cells sa tunica mucosa ng cow. Okay? Which is made up of stratified columnar. May na-appreciate pa nga tayong mga goblet cells sa kanya. Okay. Sa tunica muscularis, it is made up of inner circle. Sorry. Dito tayo sa mas mataas, mas mababang magnification. It is made up of pangit nito, nakatupi. So this is the tunica muscularis. Dito sa kabila may tupi din, pero yan. So those are made up of circular, parang din sa uterus, circular, a thick inner circular layer, and wala naman siyang external longitudinal. There, ito, longitudinal layer, but nakalas na siya. Tingnan natin yung sa humans. Pero parang nakita ko dito ay panay connective tissue, loose connective tissue na lamang ang kasama na vagina. Yep. Hindi na nakakasama yung muscular layer. Yeah, muscular layer, nice. I think this section is sagittal. Kasi ang mas makapal na layer ay yung mukhang circular. This one. Those are the circular layer ng vagina. Sagittal section to instead of cross section. Yes. Kasi ang haba naman ng vagina. Yep. So that is for the vagina. Punta na ngayon tayo sa external genitalia ng females, which is the vulva. We have here is the external labia of the cattle. External labia ng cattle. So external, so technically it is just skin. So yan. So yan yung kanyang lining epithelium. It is like an epidermis composed of keratinized squamous epithelium with a lot of sebaceous glands. At ang isa pa, na-appreciate nyo yung mga bilog-bilog na yan, this ones. So those are hair follicles na present in the labia majora. Labia majora or the external labia ng vulva ng ruminants. Again, as you can see, that is the Malpighian layer of the skin. That is the epidermis. You've got hair follicles there with a lot of sebaceous glands. Another structure na makikita natin sa vulva is the penile counterpart of the females. This is the clitoris. Alright, so again, if it is a penile counterpart, it's capable of engorgement and erection. Here is the corpora cavernosa clitoridis. These bodies are the corpora cavernosa clitoridis. Yan, nakikita natin maliliit na cells na yan. Those are blood vessels. Those are red blood cells. And nasa, as you can see, those are red blood cells. Nasa corpora cavernosa ng clitoris. So you can see the corpora cavernosa is two paired but joined erectile tissue. These two, and this is the first one, this is the other one. Nakatupi sila at joined by this stroma at the middle. And here is the clitoris of the mammal, so of the cattle. So it resembles that of the glans penis of the males. Okay? So however, in the cattle, yung clitoris niya is non-erectile. So it is only made up of fibroelastic material such as these. Kaya nga kung mapapansin ninyo, it is soft. Natutupi siya noong na mount itong section. It is lined by stratified squamous epithelium, also the prepuce covering it. So that is stratified squamous epithelium. Yung buong fossa clitoridis, which houses the corpora cavernosa clitoridis and the glans clitoridis, is housed inside this, the prepuce. This is the there's two layer parietal. This is the parietal layer, and of course ito yung visceral layer ni prepuce. It resembles that of the covering of the penis, while the labia histologically it is homologous with that of the scrotum. Tingnan natin siya under scanner. Ma-appreciate ninyo na dito ay nahagip pa yung section ng labia dito sa labas. There. So that is a non-keratinized squamous epithelia. Okay? So, nakat yung buong vulva, nahagip si clitoris, and the external layer of the labia majora. Okay, so that is the female reproductive tract of mammals. But wait, there's more. Punta naman tayo sa avian reproductive system, starting off with the ovaries of the chicken. And the ovaries of the chicken, tama nga ba? Ang natira na lang is yung left ovaries. And as you can see here, those are the developing follicles with the different ages, different development ages. So you can see, yung mas maliit, of course, these are the younger, and habang nagmamature sila, mas malalaki na sila. So this one is a follicle. Maghanap tayo ng pinaka-mature sa kanila. The largest among them. Pero hindi na siya. Maliit na din talaga itong lahat. Yep, hindi pa nagde-develop ng yolk itong ovaries na to. So, again, so that is a large. Yes, at yolk na pala nga siya. And that is the nucleus of the ovum. Ito is a tertiary or older follicle ng avians. Okay? So you can see, para siyang there is a stalk, then maraming follicles na de-develop sa kanya. Sana nakapag-dissect tayo sa anatomy niyan, although i-discuss ko to sa gross anatomy, na para siyang branch of a tree na puno lamang ng fruits, and those fruits are the follicles. Yan yung developing follicle. So this yolk developing. Okay, each of those developing follicles, you can see, walang magkakaparehas ng sizes. Parang may maliit, may ma-appreciate ka na malaki talaga. Kasi nga, everyday naman na nag-ovulate, lalo na doon sa mga highly fecundic avians. So, nare-release lagi yung mga eggs na yan. At sasaluhin ng next segment, which is the oviduct. The oviduct is composed of 4 segments: IMIU, infundibulum, magnum, isthmus, and the uterus. Magsimula tayo na sa magnum, kasi magnum na lamang yung available sa atin. Wala kaming infundibulum. Oops, uterus ko. Nasa yung magnum. Yun. This is magnum. Although this is an old slide, kaya mapapansin ninyo, nawala na ang kanyang stain. Pero yung architecture, yung shape, ay mas ma-appreciate natin. Meron tayo nakikita mga folds. As you can see, that is yung lumen. Yan yung kanyang lumen at marami tayong nakikitang folds. So those are all glandular cells because here in the magnum, dyan nasisecrete ang albumin. Okay? So all of them are glandular cells. Makakapal siya, malalapad yung kanyang mucosal folds ng magnum. Compare natin siya dito sa next segment, which is the isthmus. Relatively, ang kanyang diameter is mas maliit than that of the magnum. And its folds tapers, hindi malapad unlike that dun sa pinakita natin sa magnum. So maninipis yan, and those are the glandular cells na nasa tips ng kanilang folds. Okay, so mapa-appreciate natin yung tubular glands na nasa isthmus. Ang function naman niya ay nagsisecrete ng nagproproduce ng shell membrane. As you can see, its lining epithelium is columnar, and yung narito sa loob, these are the functional glands ng isthmus. Okay, those are the tubular glands of the isthmus. Next is the uterus, which is the shell gland. Dito nagtatagal, ang pinakamatagal ang egg. Kasi dito nasisecrete ang eggshell. Dito nabubuo ang eggshell. Again, it is ciliated columnar cells ang makikita natin sa kanyang mucosa. Appreciate natin yung cilia. In some areas, magmumukha na siya pseudo-stratified na sobrang dami cells na makikita natin dito kasi nga again, contracted siya, hindi malaki. Yung uterus, it is still a tubular organ, so we can appreciate a tunica submucosa. No, this is muscularis mucosae. And this is the, yes, muscularis mucosae. This is the tunica submucosa, and here are the large bundles of the tunica mucosa ng uterus. Those large bundles, thick bundles of the tunica tunica muscularis of this uterus is important for oviposition kasi siya nagtutulak ng egg palabas, papunta sa cloaca, and palabas ng uterus. Okay, so that's it for the avian reproductive tract. Please read on the lab exercises notes, and you can use Bacha for further reference. Kasi I must admit, hindi nakagandahan yung ating mga slides. Okay, so see ya!